Hello and welcome to that podcast with me, Peter Crouch. I've got Chris Stark with me. And Notorious, no show today?
No show today. Well, in a minute, we'll introduce him properly in a sec, but we're going to have Ben Mee playing the role of Steve Sidwell on today's podcast.
Will we get away with that, do you think?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, he's not long into the job, Steve, is he? I mean, where is he?
He is in Florida. He
sent us a picture of some massive puddings.
He's enjoying
which,
pudding.
by the way, is everywhere at the moment. Thank you. We
at the end of the day, Chris, puddings is massive.
Puddings is massive. It's funny. I'd sort of forgotten about it until the podcast came out. It was really funny. The evening that we recorded that podcast, puddings is massive. It was just a lot of back and forth with that. I think I was on a night out and kept texting you, puddings is massive. If you haven't listened to the last podcast, this will make note. You're going to have to go back. But basically, Steve's dropped this quote, puddings is massive. And we asked you guys to run with it, and everyone really has.
Well, because I knew, I don't know, it's one of those things like you kind of, almost like a tagline. I remember I kind of said, piss off Carl, and that became a thing. You were pancake, and it kind of stuck. The barbecue.
The barbecue stuff, yes, that
stuck quite a bit.
Yeah.
And I just felt, when he said it, that puddings is massive could become Sid's line, really.
Then we're going to get Steve some sort of campaign, hopefully for Christmas. They start recording those now, though, don't they? All the Christmas adverts are done now.
You're thinking like a Christmas pudding.
I'd love that.
John Lewis, Tesco thing,
M&S,
Marks and Spencer, M&S. M&S is the one, isn't it? Like really kind of amazing, and it lasts like a 3-minute kind of ad, and then at the end it's just M&S. Yeah, puddings is massive.
Puddings is massive. Oh, but I do like your idea. So you're saying the John Lewis Christmas advert, which I think's lost its way a bit over the years. It's kind of, I know there's a lot of good charities it supports and everything, but I feel like it used to be a very iconic moment when that Christmas advert. Just imagine an animated. It would have to be a bit like the Snowman, but with Steve Sidwell drawn on the screen. And it looks like that, and he's just a little ginger boy, like the Snowman, ironically.
Who was it?
Just, something of, look, you're creative listeners out there. We always say throughout the podcast, send us your ideas. If you do have the storyline and plot for a Steve Sidwell, John Lewis advert, we'll look into making it. Shall we?
Yeah, I mean, he's away at the minute. He could come back to a huge campaign for M&S.
Well, how about we do it the other way around? Let's make them an advert. We incur the expense. And if they choose to run with it, great. And if not, we'll release it anyway. And we'll see which one the people prefer. Little ginger Steve Sidwell with his puddings is massive, or their actual proper John Lewis, multi-million
we'll just
pound
run
advert.
them side by side.
Yeah, you choose.
See, choose your favourite.
All right. Well, he'll be back, I assume, for the next podcast.
Stronger, hopefully.
We're going to. We are actually going to talk to Ben Mee soon. Hang on one second, Ben. We've got a little bit of podcast business just to catch up on.
Yeah, just to pick up, I've had a few messages about your golf. How is that going? Are you still pursuing?
I'm still pursuing. I've had, I think now I've had 3 or 4 lessons. I have a putter. I don't have a puttersaurus anymore.
No, okay.
I've managed to get an actual adult golf club, which I'm now using on. It's fucking hard, this sport.
Mate, it's a hard sport, mate. I'm telling you, it's a hard sport. It's so technical.
It's really hard. But I just want to say a very quick thank you to everyone that has sent messages of support and encouragement. And I occasionally put up a picture on Instagram of me at the driving range and that, and people give advice. So people pointed me towards Silvermere Golf Club. There's a left-handed
really
shop.
Good there, mate, yeah.
It's like they've made, I've never seen anything like it. It's an entire shop just for left-handers, which feels slightly perverted in a weird kind of way. It's just odd. It's such a niche thing, isn't it, to have a left-handed shop?
Yeah, but why should it be like that? It's 2023 now. You shouldn't have to go to the back of Silvermere.
It felt a little bit. It felt, because it's a really nice golf club, but it is slightly to the back. It is a bit like I had to go in and go up to someone
Give
and go
them a wink.
Go, left-hander. And they went, and they'd look at you and go, left-hander. I go, left-hander. And they go, follow me.
Follow me.
And they took me to another shop. And
or
it was like running at the platform between 9 and 10 in Harry Potter. It was like a secret world.
Yeah.
And I went in there and just It was mental just having everything there that a left-hander could desire in golf.
Really?
I think they should do it for other things.
Yeah, they should do.
Probably, I've never been in a room, and there was only about 8 people in there with such a high quantity of left-handers. There's no reason to do it.
But like, also when you go in there, like, do you meet other left-handers?
You give them a left-handed handshake.
Do you actually, like, yeah? Oh my God, I've never thought of that. If you're left-handed, you don't shake hands left-handed.
I don't think you do, and that's the thing. People are
shit. So you could have your own handshake, literally.
It's always awkward. I don't know if you've ever met JLS.
That.
It's like it's so difficult working out what you do with a handshake with 4 members of a boy band, for example, because they all come through, and you naturally want to go out with the left, but they want to come in with a right hand or a hug. I'm just using JLS as an example, but
why did you use JLS? I don't understand why you.
I don't know, mate. It's just
just like when you meet JLS.
No, I think it's because I love those guys, but whenever I've met JLS through work, I find meeting them the most awkward.
Really?
Bit.
Oh, so you've had
actually experience. Prangs me out a bit.
Oh, really?
Like I get paranoid because they are a real mix of huggers and
handshakers
and like, you know, coming in at an angle or a fist bump, and you just have to stand there and just take whatever they give you and try roll with it.
Right. Well, next time you meet JLS, just go in for the left-handed handshake.
Yeah,
that feels so.
Well, let's do it.
I've never done it. I've never done it.
Good to see you, Pete.
I've never thought about that. I've literally. Who's Rodrigo?
Sorry, his phone's ringing. It's Rodrigo. That could be. I mean, that sounds like someone you should answer. Give it a quick.
Hello? How are you? I'm good, mate. Yeah, you?
He wants to do an interview. An interview? Yeah.
Ah, he wants to do an interview. Oh, sorry, I got someone who can translate here.
Do you understand?
Yeah, he speaks it fluent. Portuguese and Spanish.
Phenomenal for the producer.
Do you want to speak to Ross? Ross is going to speak to you. My agent speaks Portuguese.
Lo siento, Rodrigo, ¿estás ahí? Sí, está bien. Pero de momento estamos grabando un podcast, pero después podemos hablar sobre la entrevista, si quieres. Bueno. Sí, bueno, te envío un mensaje después en media hora. No, sí, te envío un mensaje y organizamos cuándo hacer la entrevista.
This is the best.
Hoy no. Estamos ocupados por todo el día hoy.
Tell him Puddings is massive.
Puddings is...
Okay, vale. No.
Who the hell is Rodrigo?
Bueno, hablamos por WhatsApp, ¿okay? Estamos grabando ahora mismo. ¿Ok? Adiós. Chao.
There's a lot to dissect here. It's arguably one of my favourite starts to a podcast ever. What's just happened here? Because
number one, I don't know who Rodrigo is.
So you've met him on holiday.
But I've got his number.
You've met him on holiday.
So Rodrigo called. I thought, who the fuck's Rodrigo? He's called me, then started talking Portuguese to me. And bizarrely, our producer Ross speaks fluent Portuguese.
Why would you not mention that?
Are you speaking Spanish then?
But you're speaking in Spanish. Why would you not mention that you speak fluent Spanish?
Not a bragger.
It's just this podcast continues to surprise.
Well, I knew he was fluent in Spanish and Portuguese. I knew that, but I didn't think to say our producer can speak that until Rodrigo called.
Incredible. What is puddings is massive in Spanish?
Postres son grandes.
Postres son gracias.
Well, listen, it's a global thing. Postres son grandes.
Yeah, I love it. Right then, Ben Mee.
I guess.
How are you, mate?
I'm very good. How are you?
Yeah, really good. Really good. Thanks for coming along.
These things always start a little bit weird, but we can get straight into your life, Ben, and everything that comes with it. Or we can sort of introduce you to some of the podcast stuff that we do week in, week out. Where would you like to go?
Oh, good. Podcast route.
Yeah, cool. Should we get into this with a couple of messages?
A couple of messages, yeah. It's caught me off the loop. But yeah, I saw a belting message before. We'll get straight into this, Ben, right? We're not going to ease you in here, right? While really bored, it's a message from Nick. While really bored, me and a friend decided to change some players' names and create different sides. Let me know if there are any players you'd like to add to this list.
Great.
This is the Vagina 11. Nicky Beaver.
Okay. Right, yeah.
Squirt Zuma. Fucking hell. I haven't read that.
Welcome along, Ben.
I wish I hadn't said that.
No.
I should. All right.
I think it's.
I've actually seen it.
No, but I've just had the list put in front of me. Don't leave yet, Ben. Right.
No, we can't carry on with that, can we?
You're gonna have to.
You read these, Ben?
Come on. I think if we start like this, then at least it's
stamp. Flap stamp. It's actually incredible, but I don't think it's broadcastable, is it?
You can't be that next one.
Robbie Crowler?
We definitely can't do the manager's name.
Well, Jimmy Floyd for Jazzlebank's not bad.
That's good. All right, that's a lovely message.
Yeah, that was really nice. I mean, there's some absolute. I mean, the left back's an absolute disgrace.
Yeah. Okay. I'll tell you what we'll do. We'll move away from the messages again, and we'll go back to.
Let's go back to starting in a normal fashion. I think
we'll go back to Ben.
So Ben, started at Man City, did you? Oh, that is where you started, don't it?
It is where I started. Yeah.
How was that? So, who were you? Who were you under? Who did you have in your youth team when you were there?
Yeah, so youth team, probably most well known, Kieran Trippier.
Yeah.
With Dedrick Boata, a few of the players that were in and around it that played in the leagues as well. We won the youth cup there, and yeah, it was just a time when sort of all the money was coming in and all the signs were coming in, and yeah, it was tough to break through that team, but a great time, great experience, and loved training with the players that were coming in at that time.
Yeah.
When that transformation's happening at City, are you sort of acutely aware of how that might affect your career and what's happening next, or how did you feel about it? Did you feel good about it? Did you see the opportunity that came with that?
I enjoyed training with them and learning from them, but I had sort of likes of Vinny Company coming in, Julian Lescott coming in, and you do see it become a little bit crowded for myself. And I was at that stage where I wanted to get out on loan and go and play first team football and start my career really. But I wanted to get out really and gain some experience.
Yeah. Were you a City fan?
I was probably more of a United fan at the beginning, but I moved to City when I was 9.
Okay.
And then just went to Main Road, watched the players, fell in love with the club, and that was me. And I grew to dislike United playing against them as a kid as well, because they were so arrogant, and the coaches, the players, and that because they were Man United, weren't they? So, and we weren't as big at that time, and playing against them, and just become to dislike them a bit more, and obviously love City a bit more than each time.
I get the sense this still continues.
I'm not as bothered anymore. No, it sort of ran its course, and obviously I've got family at United fans, family at City fans as well. So, but yeah, I'm not as bothered anymore.
Yeah. So then, what was the first move after that? Was that Leicester?
Yeah, so I went to Leicester for 6 months with Sven. He signed me.
How was that? That was quite a mad. That was quite a mad time for Leicester.
Mad time. We'd signed sort of Yakubu, Kamara. We'd signed a couple of lads on loan. Patrick Van Aanholt, Jeffrey Brumer, and we had a load of lads on loan. I think Adria and the goalkeeper, is it? Ricardo. Yeah, the old goalkeeper. Old, that's a bit, but yeah, signed him. So there was a lot of players coming in and out. And
was that a good experience? Because I've always been quite an advocate really for the loan system. It benefited me quite a lot. Was it good for you?
Yeah, it was great for me to go there. But we had so many that I got left out of a couple of squads because they couldn't have as many loan players within the squad, which was a bit frustrating. But great experience, and got to play 16, I think, 17 games in the Champ, and I played against Burnley actually under Eddie Howe, and we beat them 4-0. Had a good game, and that rolled into the summer, and spoke to them after the summer.
Is that where you caught his eye, do you reckon?
I think so. Yeah, he probably saw me then, and maybe followed a little bit after that. yeah, he wants to work with young players, and it seemed like a good fit for me.
See, I get excited when you say that Sven was your manager, because everything that I've heard about Sven on this podcast, he's just this character in my brain. He's always with, what was the assistant, Tord Grip?
Tord. Was Tord there at Leicester with you?
Fazakli was there, I think.
Oh,
I think
okay.
Tord was there. My memory's terrible, so.
How was he as a manager from your
really
experience?
sort of chilled out, like.
Really?
Yeah, just came in and out and picked the team, and the coaches did the coaching and stuff. But I thought he just managed players well. I think that's how he sort of became so good and so well regarded. I think just the way he sort of managed players.
Yeah, that's what he was like. Certainly with England, he was more like kind of so relaxed, and like especially with like at that time, it felt like the weight was on our shoulders. It was like we had such a good generation of players, and it was such a pressurized environment. And then Sven had come in, and it was like just go out and play, you know. You'd just be like so relaxed that it kind of took the pressure off a little bit. I'll be honest with you, I think we could have done with a bit more tactical, stuff, but he was brilliant. Like for me, he was brilliant, absolutely brilliant. Like because he was so relaxed, he calmed me down, and he rated me as a player, and he gave me the opportunity to play for England. So
yeah, but with a manager like Sven, do you have to be more disciplined yourself? I mean, if you wanted to piss around, for example, is it easier to do under a manager like Sven compared to an Eddie or someone like that? Because he's so easygoing, it's like he gives you the space. But surely, as young lads, that's something to take advantage of, if anything.
Yeah, well, I think I've talked about this podcast before, but I remember when we had a sort of break in games with England, but we still had another game to play, and he sat down he welcomed all the families into the hotel. But then I was, single at the time, and there was a few other single lads, and he brought us into a room, and he said, obviously, he wanted us to, not really go out and, in between games. So he just came in and he was like, look, boys, I like what you like. He said, but not in this hotel. I was like, what kind of advice is this? The maddest advice I've ever heard. But, we took it on board, and fair enough.
Yeah, similar advice for you, Ben.
There's similar advice. No, I mean, I was just a young lad trying to make an impression, I guess. So I obviously, Sven Goodhousen, next England manager for me, I was just like, got to try and impress him, and do well under him. So I wasn't sort of thinking anything other than that. So taking advantage of him wasn't really, or anything that was there.
Okay, but then going to impress Sven, is this just through the football, or did you deploy sort of the same tactics as you would with, say, trying to impress a mother-in-law, that kind of thing?
No, I think more football. Yeah,
More
I
football.
probably didn't speak to him too much, so I was probably too shy at that time in my career to do anything like that. But yeah, just on the pitch mainly.
So the biggest one was Burnley. So you obviously caught Eddie Howe's gaze, whatever, and he took you, and obviously Kieran Trippier joined at the same time.
Yeah,
right?
same time. Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, what a couple of great signings that was for Burnley.
Turned out to do pretty well.
To do well, yeah. How
So
long were you there?
At Burnley, I was 11 years.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Yeah,
isn't
11
it?
years. Trips obviously moved on to Spurs, and then went to obviously Atletico. And
Was it a loan originally?
alone originally
Yeah.
for 6 months. Well, it was a year, and then halfway through we signed full time, and just progressed. I think the club got better and better. Grew and grew, and I think that sort of mirrored my career as well. I think that's why I ended up staying for so long. Obviously, I enjoyed it, but I think the club grew and grew and grew, and I grew as a player myself. I think at a similar rate. So yeah.
Is this true with Eddie? Some of the team bonding stuff that you did, there was various things. One of them, it was reported, is that he'd take you sheep herding.
Yeah.
We
went down south. Yeah, mental. Like it was crazy. We were in a field split up into two teams, and basically we had to get these sheep into a pen, and it was the most bizarre thing I've ever seen in my life. Yeah, you've seen lads like chasing sheep around the fields and the sheep bounding over, and it's mad.
Good? Did it? I mean, what was the kind of what was the thinking behind that?
I have no idea. We ended up all together in a field, like linking arms, trying to guide these sheep into
I wonder if
lads
that
with sticks.
was
and
that
everything
his
like that.
idea, do you think? It was.
I just don't think there was a lot around where we were, so I think that
Yeah.
was just one of the things that was just around. So we just thought, sod it, we'll just go and do that. But,
What a bizarre exercise for team bonding. Did you ever do that?
I did some strange things in my time, but not. No, I've never heard sheep.
Who was the best at the sheep herding, out of interest?
I don't know, Charlie Austin maybe? Something like
Charlie
Chasing-
Good sheep herder.
Yeah.
You learn something new every day. Like,
Who would have thought?
who would have thought?
Yeah, crazy team bonding there. This next part of the podcast is sponsored by Brewdog. So, the last few episodes, we've been enjoying a few pints of Elvis Juice. You love this stuff, Pete.
I'm into it now.
Which is, as we've learnt, the king of IPAs. We've been asking listeners what they're the king of. Should we have a listen to what they say?
Yes, let's.
When we
Do you know what? You've been at a stag doing Brewdog.
I have,
haven't you? Yeah,
I
right.
have.
So you went to the Brewdog in Edinburgh, right?
I did.
Talk to me. What was it like?
It was very nice. It was much like being here because this is a Brewdog.
Yeah, I know,
it's
but
in
I've just
Edinburgh.
wondered how they differ. North of the border.
I'll tell you what was different about it is we were enjoying my brother's stag do, and then Martin Compston walked in. But I'll tell you what really...
randomly?
Because it's the Edinburgh Fringe Festival. I think he was performing.
Okay.
And then he came in, but he was in, and I don't want this to be a plot spoiler. To be fair, I can't remember his name, so it won't be. But with the baddie from Line of Duty. And I thought, fuck,
Been a few baddies, haven't there?
when you only see these people as their characters, but then they're just rolling around having a beer together. Feels like, I know it's an act, but it shouldn't be allowed.
Well, I know what you're saying, yeah.
There's just something a bit iffy about it.
Yeah, because they were so anti each other. Now they're
Yeah,
having a
he
beer
was the
together.
one that, do you remember he was in the interview and it's going like, and it does the bleeping noise in the background, and then he puts the text in to extract.
Oh, yeah.
Guys
Remember that
coming
was
with the
going on
guns.
for ages, wasn't it?
Yeah.
It's like a Who Shot Phil thing, wasn't
Yeah, and there they were, walking into Brewdog in Edinburgh. Took one look at our stag group and left.
it? Did they? Did you have a chat to him or not?
Not really.
No.
No, sadly not.
Yeah.
So that's my experience of Brewdog in
Oh,
Edinburgh.
right.
I can't guarantee Martin Compston will walk in every time, but it's happened 100% of the times I've been there. All right, so basically, this is a kind of a budget Britain's Got Talent we've got going on. Send in your talents. We've got some voice notes. And if you go on our Twitter, there's a way of sending these voice notes through. It's kind of pinned to the top, so go give that a look. Right then, let's have a listen to this. So first up, we've got Graham here.
Hello, Peter. Hi, guys. Yes, I am the king of my Ed Sheeran impression. Dancing in the dark with you between my arms, we're barefoot on the grass, listening to our favorite songs. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath and said you heard it. Darling, you look perfect tonight. Hope you enjoyed that. Cheers.
It's really
Hell. Fucking shit, I was in Chris Eubank.
So that's Graham now.
Hold on. No, don't just smooth over that. Is he? He's got to be taking a piss. He's got-
Next up, we've got Jacob Price, and I believe he's got some sort of routine about away days. All right.
Fucking, I'm struggling with Ed Sheeran there.
Crouchy, boys, so I am the king of away days. Or should that be the king of messing up away days? I once saw my team lose 20 games on the trot. 21st game comes along, got a good feeling about it. But the problem is, it's a big trip. I'm a Plymouth fan, so any away day for us is a big one, being down at the bottom of the country. This one in particular, Carlisle away, 400 miles,
Massive.
8 or 9 hours on the road. When you're travelling that far and you get on the supporters coach at 4 a.m. to set off, you need to keep yourself amused. So me and my mates had a few beers on the back of the bus. By the time I got to Carlisle, I was asleep on the back seat in the summer sun. Did my mates wake me up, bring me into the ground with them? No. Did they leave me there to have a kip and miss the whole thing and we ended up winning 3-1? Yes, they did. 9 hours for that. King of messing up the away day.
9 hours.
Crouchy,
He's done-
what was your worst away experience?
Oh, he's done 9 hours on the coach.
Yeah.
Oh, brilliant.
So this third one, now the name written down here is Johnny Bravo.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
Taking a
maybe
piss,
the team
probably.
getting it wrong or this guy, taking the piss.
I think he's probably taking the piss here.
and all-
I hope the first fella was. Fucking Graham.
All it says next to this one is EastEnders impressions.
Right.
So
Can't wait.
All right, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay, all right, okay.
Ross Kemp.
My name is Ross Kemp, and I used to be on a program called EastEnders. All right, you might have played for Liverpool.
Sorry, just got to pause it there. It's never good with an impression where they've got to say the name and context of the person in the impression.
Yeah. Well, I do like it.
For Tottenham, for England, but I was on EastEnders. Could you say the same? I bet not. Well, I'm a bit parched, so I'm going to go and pass the pod. All right, okay, all right, okay. Here's my friend Bane. Well, to the Grouch, it seems you and the Batman have something in common. He likes to wind down when he's being Bruce Wayne with a few brew dogs. Yes. He'll have a few pints of lost lager because the Batman is lost when he's dealing with me. Yeah, I quite agree. The name's Alfred Solomon's, mate. See you, Crouchy. Crouchy. You're good with your feet. Not so good with your head for a big man. But you scored a few, didn't you? And your intelligence. Valuable thing, innit? Anyway, you stop being parts and I'll start passing the pot. All right?
Okay, cut out.
Well,
Yeah,
but hold on, that was good.
Yeah, I thought it was good.
I thought that was really good.
What did you prefer, the Ross Kemp or the Bane?
Well, Bane was more. I really enjoyed Ross Kemp.
Yeah. Yeah, he sort of mixed both of them to form this sort of super character, didn't
Yeah, but I felt the Bane was
Ross Kemp.
fantastic.
Sorry, it cut out on the end there. It must have been the voice note itself. Out of the three of those, we've got to choose who to send a crate of Elvis juice to.
Oh, that's a tough one, that. Do you know what I like about it is, like, when he's doing Ross Kemp and Bane, I always think about maybe his missus walking on and I'm doing that. Thinking, what are you fucking doing?
Yeah.
It always tickles me, that.
Couldn't you say the same for any one of those three?
Yeah, that's what I mean. Like, it's great, isn't it, though? I just love our listeners of class on it.
Who are you going to choose, though?
Well, that is a tough one. Graham was useless, if I'm honest. It was one of the worst renditions of Ed Sheeran I think I've ever heard. I like him because he's obviously taking a piss.
Is he, though? Like,
I hope so. Because if he's not, we might have to stay in touch with him.
Graham, can you, just for our own, just send us another song? Imagine, in the X Factor where Cal puts up a hand and goes, have you got another one?
Maybe, I don't know, maybe I wasn't hearing that right, but did it sound like Ed Sheeran to you?
Well.
We barefoot on the grass, listening to our favourite songs. When you said you looked a mess, I whispered underneath my breath and said you are perfect tonight.
He's got my vote. I think you should go all the way. Why don't we get him down here?
I think he's the winner. I think he's the winner.
He's got to be.
Oh, he's got to be. I mean, he's brilliant. It's absolutely. I mean, he's entertained us, and that's what it's about.
Yeah.
Elvis entertained.
Yeah, we've had Ed Sheeran on this podcast. He listens. I really hope he hears that. Should we send it him?
Yeah. Well, I don't know if I could potentially
Got his
send
email address.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
we'll
Graham,
send that to
Graham.
Ed.
You send us another song. We'll send that to Ed Sheeran, and we'll also send you a crate of Elvis juice. I think that's only fair.
Right, yeah, and one more thing. If you head over to brewdog.com/Crouch and buy a pack of Elvis juice, then you'll be added into a prize draw for tickets to the next event we're hosting down at Brewdog Waterloo soon. So get buying, and hopefully we'll see you soon.
You had Jason Tyndall there as well, didn't you?
Did, yeah.
We're big fans of his on this,
okay.
podcast. Was this sort of the first... Did you see the early signs of his close relationship to Eddie at that point? And his ambition to be number one.
He's going to struggle this year because you only have one person on the touchline.
Oh, no.
Right. Yeah, so...
I know.
So
I take you across the centre of attention stuff.
I picked up on it early, very early, yeah. it exploded. I was like, I sent a couple of lads the videos and that, and I was creasing, but I was on it very very early doors.
Oh, I've heard them talking about it actually. Like fair play to him, he's come out and like talks about it. Oh, it's funny.
I'm surprised it took so long for people to catch on to it, but yeah,
Wow,
it was good. But Eddie, when I was at Burnley, he did absolutely everything, and he was into everything. So
was he like? Did you see then? Kind of like, obviously he's gone on to achieve what he's gone on to achieve, been a well regarded manager. Did you see the early stages of that when you were at Burnley? Because he had a difficult time at times, didn't he? Like I know he did well, but like there was some difficult moments as well.
Yeah, we had a difficult time, but he didn't have a squad that he wanted at that time. He was trying to get rid of players, bring players in, work with young players, but on the training ground he was so good and putting his point across and the sessions he put on enjoyable, but he had to leave and go down south with family reasons. So it was disappointing to see him go. I remember being on the international break. I was getting on the plane and he rings me. He's just left Burnley. He rings me and sort of apologises for leaving. So I was a lot of respect for him for doing that, because obviously I came wanting to work with him. But no, he didn't have anything to apologise for. But yeah, it was sad to see him go at Burnley, but. Yeah, he's done fantastic.
And obviously you did see him go, and then you've seen kind of friend of the pod, Sean Dyche comes in. How did you find him?
Yeah, from minute one he sort of laid down a marker. A few of the boys that have been going out and during the week and that and stuff, he'd caught wind of that, and in the first meeting with everybody, joined us. Well, no, he basically said, so that's not going to happen anymore, lads. So he was very much someone who demanded respect and wanted us to obviously the best we could, but he was very good for the club, and we went on a fantastic journey and run with him there.
You're into your music, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Yeah.
I'm fascinated by Sean Dyche and how he signed you at a music festival.
Yeah, we were at Isle of Wight Festival, yeah. But yeah, it's bizarrely we were chatting about it, and then Ab just said, you should sign him. And then we went, well, maybe I should. And I went, I'd love to if you. And he was like, yeah, okay, yeah. And we did.
I'm just convinced if you can get to a music festival with Sean Dyche, you stand a very good chance of being signed by him. It's where he does his scouting.
He does a lot of his scouting there. He loves his music festivals. Big fan of Kasabian. How did you find your time at Burnley?
No, I loved it. Like for me, I went there like towards it. I was 38, and I went there and. When I arrived, to be honest, I mean, I didn't realise how good Ashley Barnes and Chris Wood were. Yeah. Like, I think they were so underrated as players. Like, I was quite surprised, like how good they were, and how well oiled the team was, how fit the team was, the standards and I went. I didn't really
when you joined that. What was was it a different setup when you joined to what you expected from it then?
It was. I think it was probably a better. From an outsider looking in, you think of Burnley as like tough, strong, hard to beat. Maybe not as technically gifted as some of the other teams. But when I got there, that was dispelled for me. I think there was some really technical players in that.
Yeah, there was some underrated players, definitely. For
like
sure,
really,
for sure.
like Ashley Westwood, Jack Cork, yourself. Ashley Barnes, Chris Wood for me, like Dwight McNeil. There was some really technically good players, and I think that kind of went under the radar with this whole kind of Sean Dyche style, a bit like we had at Stoke, to be honest. But going in there, I was really pleasantly surprised about the standard.
You had the best initiation I've seen.
Yeah. Oh, God,
what do you mean?
We
were in Portugal. It was in Portugal. In Portugal in the bar, wasn't it?
Yeah. What's in the bar? What did I sing?
Inferno,
that was it. Yeah.
With a little dance.
Informer, wasn't it?
Informer, Inferno. Yeah, my bad.
Snow, Informer.
Yeah,
classic.
Yeah, well, I've done it at a few clubs to be fair. That one. Yeah, but it went. Thank you. I appreciate you saying that. Yeah, I think it went down all right.
Yeah. One of the better ones you've seen, Ben.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, up there.
With just an air of confidence about it.
You see nowadays, they've all got the phones out and stuff and things, and they're reading lyrics on the phones and stuff.
None of that, mate. Stuff. It's all up here, isn't it?
What was your initiation, Ben?
My initiation. Oh no, I'm not gonna. I can't say what I sang.
No.
Ronan Keating, I sang when I was.
Yeah, it's
younger.
great.
Yeah.
Roller coaster.
Tomorrow Never Comes.
Oh,
Tomorrow Never Comes.
controversial.
Yeah.
That's bizarre because out of all of the
we had,
Yeah.
I'll tell you,
Tomorrow Never
we were in
Comes.
America pre-season Man City, and we had like an X Factor thing. The senior boys put on like a show. There's a few young lads there, so they put on like a big show, a stage, and that, and we had to all sing a song, basically.
Oh, so who are the older lads there making you do that?
So like Michael Richards, Vinnie Company, Zabaleta, like so that sort of around that era.
Right.
We end up having to go on stage. One of the boys put a dress on and sang the Titanic song.
Yeah, but at least everyone knows that. I just don't know why you've gone.
My heart will go on. Celine Dion.
Yeah.
In a dress.
Yeah, brilliant. Eh? It's good.
You did a Ronan Keating B-side, really, didn't you?
Well, tomorrow never is.
Tomorrow never. If tomorrow never comes.
Dunno.
Is that how it goes?
I just knew the words,
Would
so
I
that's what I
tell
did.
how much I love you
Oh yeah, just
when you
so
try in different ways?
Yeah.
You're thinking of When You Say Nothing at All.
Am I?
Yeah, no one knows if tomorrow never comes. I'm sure of it. But I quite like that. It hits them with a surprise then. You know?
Tomorrow.
Got a good reception.
You went for that?
I know, yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That is a big shout.
Yeah.
Surely life is a roller coaster, just gotta
You still
ride.
want people to sing along, don't you?
It's
Yeah.
kind of
So
embarrassing.
did you just sing that and no one joined in?
No, they got the old arms going and that.
Oh, you
stuff.
did? You got a few going?
Yeah, the boys were enjoying it,
Yeah.
I think.
Oh.
So you're in there. So your experience of Crouchy coming into that team, would you describe it? And you can be honest. Was it a positive influence? What was the difference? And was it a surprising signing for yourself?
It wasn't that surprising for me to see him come. Obviously, the fact that he actually came to us was quite surprising. But because you're a big character, big player at the time, we didn't sign many big characters. I didn't feel. But yeah, no, it was a great addition to the group. You didn't play as much as what you would have liked, and I think you described it as a head on a stick, didn't you?
I was towards the end. I just got thrown up like top last 10 basically, and to cause a bit of carnage, which was a bit degrading, if I'm honest. Considering I felt like I had a good career.
I can see that. Yeah,
But I totally, like, for me, I came from what I would regard as at Stoke to probably one of the best traditions I've ever been in, to then it turned kind of almost full circle. And then towards the end of my time at Stoke, I kind of fell out of love with being in a football dressing room because of the kind of people in it, really. It felt like we really got we sort of got lots of good characters out and brought the wrong kind of characters in. And it culminated in relegation. And that really kind of wound me up and made me not fall out of love with the game, but just feel a bit sort of, I don't know, I didn't feel the same about the people in football, if you know what I mean. And then it just switched on its head when I went to Burnley, and the lads were just so good, and everyone was just, it was like the Stoke dressing room right at the start with all the great characters, and it just, I don't know, it gave me a nice way to go out, I think, again. And then, I didn't play much, and there won't be a statue of me in Burnley, unfortunately, but
But it's the bridge, isn't it?
It was a lovely
bridge.
someone put something on the bridge, yeah. But no, there was really, really good lads, and I enjoyed football again. I was every day I was enjoying training, and I was enjoying the games. I was enjoying being around like yourself and the rest of the boys. It was a really good dressing room, wasn't it?
Yeah, massive.
How did you find the kind of the stigma behind, like, it was almost like sometimes going away at Burnley was like the stigma of going away at the Britannia.
Yeah, definitely.
Like, it became kind of like, oh, we've got to go to Burnley, and like, did you revel in that? Because at Stoke we loved it. It was like we'd watch teams come in and you could see them just trudge in, and it was like just a tough place to be.
Yeah, no.
Did you enjoy it?
We loved it. Our dressing room, like, we were just laughing and that stuff, and we sort of loved that tagline, and we didn't mind it. We had a lot of down to earth lads who sort of knew what we were about a little bit, and we didn't mind that at all. We kind of enjoyed, especially on a night game when it's lashing down with rain, and you see the big boys walking in. It's you are half laughing, like,
it's great,
it's good. It's good.
It's great.
And you see our dressing room as well, and having to go in that dressing room, the away dressing room. Sorry, and it's just it does crack you up a little bit.
Brilliant.
So,
yeah. And what about the obviously when Sean Dyche, when he brings in the kind of well documented wheel?
Oh, the punishment wheel.
The punishment wheel. Yeah.
No,
I saw a bit of it, but like, I mean, what are the best kind of bits of that have you seen, and was it a good idea, and did the lads enjoy it?
I think our fitness coach had the idea from rugby, bringing something in like that, and we had some funny moments. We had Sam Vokes doing lap dances. He loved the lap dance.
Did he?
Yeah, he loved it. He'd get his kit off straight away. He'd be ready for it. Yeah, he'd be ready for it.
Hold on. So on the board, right?
Yeah.
For anyone who doesn't know, you've got to, like, if you do something wrong, I don't know.
It's a fine.
leave your
It's
kit
basically a
out.
fine, but yeah.
A fine.
Yeah.
You spin the wheel, you might get your money back.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
or,
yeah.
you might be a bonus thing,
Sing or
but
something, yeah.
quite often it's bad. And this particular one is a lap dance. And Sam Vokes was all over it.
Yeah, so you spun, you got lap dance, and then you had to spin it for a number. So whoever got the number received the lap dance. So I had to sit in a chair and that and stuff. So
And so if you lose, you'd receive the lap
yeah,
dance.
you'd receive it. Yeah.
Right, okay. And it was always Sam Vokes?
He enjoyed it. Every time he got it, he was quite happy with it. So we had other ones.
Was he arms by his side or arms above his head, kind of?
Above his head, on the
Above his head.
lap, down to his slips.
Really,
Yeah, definitely, yeah. So and we had an Elvis impression where we had a wig and dress up as Elvis. We had to sing an Elvis song. We had a few good ones.
With Sean Dyche, then, your kind of experience of him being manager throughout that time, did you feel his managing of the team suited your style?
I guess a little bit. I mean, I had adapted a little bit. I think with Eddie Howe, it was more playing and possession. At City, probably similar as well. So with the gaffer was probably a little bit more back to basics, really.
Yeah, and then you got a chance. You're one of the only people that I think we've had on this podcast that kind of became manager as well for a small period of time.
Yeah. Wasn't manager, but
Assistant manager.
Yeah, ish.
That's like Gareth
Helping
in The
out.
Office, isn't it? Assistant to the regional manager.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, exactly.
So are you parched?
Most definitely not. I said I'd help out, and I said I'd help out, and that was basically that. What it
Yeah,
was.
do you
So,
enjoy it? Like if I had to say, right, there was, if I had to hang my hat on someone being a manager or a coach, I would say you've got that the way you play the game, the way you lead on the pitch, how close you are maybe to managers and how much they trust you. Like, it makes sense.
I got a little taste of being a coach, I guess. It's hard graft.
Yeah.
It's hard graft, a lot of work, a lot of hours.
Is there a part of you that fancies it or not? Certainly after that.
Probably leaning towards not, right? I think for
Really?
me, yeah. But I would never.
Are?
Yeah, I would never sort of write it off. But if I get to the end of my career, which maybe in a couple of years' time, but at the minute, it's not something I really fancy as much.
That surprises me. I thought you were going to step in here and go like, I want to be a manager. Because I don't know. I just got that. I get that impression.
Yeah, a lot of people say that to me. Yeah. No, I've not got the urge at the minute to do that.
But you're busy enough being a dad as well.
Yeah, being a dad, enjoying that, spending time with the kids. That's it's class. It's brilliant. I love that.
That all wears off.
I got to say, just on a sidebar thing, and I actually don't want to go too deep into it because it's something that's personal to me as well. But I'm sure there'll be people listening. The stuff you do with Tommy's charity and the support you give to that, I think is unbelievable.
Yeah.
And I think what they do is phenomenal.
What they do is fantastic. And obviously we went through a bit of an ordeal, I guess, with my daughter, which brought us to working with Tommy's, which has been rewarding, fantastic, and like I say, the work they do is amazing.
Yeah. I hope the family are all well. And
yeah, they are. No, they're all great. Yeah, that's certainly. But you go through moments in life, don't you? And just realization, and definitely, that's probably one of the reasons as well why I'm quite close with my family as well.
Does it give a bit more perspective to the football, perhaps?
Yeah, it's probably made me a better player. Actually, in fact, yeah, just that perspective that he's sort of going out there, not caring as much because you still obviously care about football. You want to win and stuff, but a bit more freedom, I guess, to go and play.
You speak like you have kind of lots of maybe passions and things you're involved in outside of the game that you're quite vocal on or have been vocal on.
Yeah, no, definitely. I've got a lot of things that I'm passionate about. I enjoy learning and sort of growing, developing as a person. I'm into sort of Web3, which is maybe something that a lot of people don't know. But
what is that?
So Web3 is like blockchain sort of thing, and sort of I'm quite into that type of thing.
As in, we're looking at the new Elon Musk.
No. But like,
I thought I saw Elon Musk on the way in, chucking in some chicken wings, an absolute ringer upstairs.
Really?
I wanted to take a picture, but he caught me. Sorry. Carry on.
So yeah, no, just doing that, and I'm doing a bit of media as well. I'm trying to sort of learn a bit more about that, try and improve with that. You guys yourself do a lot of talking on the radio and things, and on podcasts and stuff. So trying to put myself out there a bit more in uncomfortable situations.
Does that feel daunting?
Yeah, a little
Is
bit.
that something that's really present in mind whilst playing for Brentford at the moment? Sort of that one eye on what's coming next.
Yeah,
and
a little
sort of
bit.
stepping into it.
And you're sort of conscious of doing too much as well because you want to focus on your football, but you kind of want to prepare for the future as well. But
You hit that stage though, Pete, didn't you? I mean, there was a real crossover I felt with this podcast when you were, just before you retired. And I'm sure you would look back on that and go, but that was the right thing to do to kind of ease it in.
100%. Yeah, like I felt like I was do things while I was still playing. It keeps you kind of still current. And, and I did this podcast while I was still playing, and it became kind of, because it went quite big, I was, it became, oh shit, I don't want it to go too big because I'm still playing football. And then it was like, well, you sort of did a bit, and it's a balance, isn't it? Because you don't want people to think you're taking your eye off the ball, which you're obviously not.
Yeah, also, I don't think you ever held back with stories with the podcast, but I definitely feel there was a point, maybe not when we started, I just mean like a little bit into it when you were still playing, where I think you were still a bit anxious about what the perception of you would be as a footballer for doing stuff like this as well.
Just normal. I think
and
same as well,
things you're interested in.
But it also puts that pressure on to perform as well. I think if you're doing these things outside of football, you kind of, I feel like I need to play well as well to be able to do them things outside of football. So kind of puts that pressure on a little bit, which I don't mind really. It keeps me on my toes.
Well, you see it with everyone. Like with David Beckham had like things outside of his. It was all like, oh, he's not concentrating on football. Even Marcus Rashford. I mean, he was doing incredible things.
Yeah.
Feeding children who couldn't be, and it was like, oh, he's taking it because he didn't play well. It was like, if you don't play well, it's like people want to use it as a stick to bat you. And it's
I think when Ben's done with the football, he should become Prime Minister, and then we can just solve everything between Marcus Rashford and Ben Mee. We've got countries in good hands, isn't it?
Well, you're big on the environment issues.
Yeah,
right?
sustainability.
Yeah.
Do try and do my best for.
Yeah, and
for
what is
side
that?
as
Are you
well.
vocal about it? Have you set up things? Have you reached, or do you just try and be the best person you can be?
It's just something interest really. Trying to be the best person I can be. Trying to spread a little bit more from my sort of side of it, awareness around it. I did the carbon neutral transfer, which was when I signed for Brentford last year. That was just an idea we had just to raise the profile of sort of carbon emissions, etc., and things like that, and climate change. So I find it interesting. I need to work on it myself. I'm not perfect at all, but it's something that I'm very interested in and sort of delving into a little bit more.
Here's what I don't get though, is you can, for me, that seems my perception of what a dressing room would be like in football. That would be a very unusual thing to kind of bring to the dressing room and try and not influence people, but get people involved in that kind of thing.
Well, there's opportunities to change that, isn't there? I think there's opportunities.
Yeah, do you feel you're doing that? That's maybe that's what I'm trying to get to.
Maybe, maybe.
Do you feel,
I don't know. Maybe we all have as players, sort of a platform. I think more youngsters maybe might look up to that a bit more than sort of the old-fashioned sort of football fan, or maybe the older players.
Oh, it's fascinating.
Yeah, no,
it's just so different, it feels like, where it probably isn't. It's just my perception of it and what I imagine is a Premier League football dressing room.
Well, no, I think football is a different. It's a different kind of place now. I think there's a lot of different characters in football dressing rooms now. Like for the other day, I mean, for instance, I saw in the Community Shield, I saw Timber wearing his own Calvin Klein's.
Right,
and
that's
that
immediate
flabbergasted
difference.
me. Well, I just we talked about pants on this pod, and obviously pants being provided for you. Chris had no clue that pants were provided for you in a.
I found it the idea that you can't even bring your own pants to a game. You can't
Game
be
training as
trusted
well.
with
Training,
that. Is unbelievable.
So my question to you is, moving swiftly on from being carbon neutral to pants, very swiftly there, but.
Well, he'll have the old bamboos
Well,
on.
I'd like to know. No, I'd just like to know what do players wear their own pants now? I mean,
Some do, yeah. Some
I
do.
find that flabbergasting.
It's still few and far between, but there are a couple in our dressing room that
Wear
do wear
their
their
own
own.
pants.
Yeah.
I'm sure.
What? So you just wear the Brentford issue?
Yeah, just black slips. Yeah.
Yeah.
Pants, yeah.
Yeah,
It's
and that's
a
what you
standard
had.
sloggies or slip, like slips.
It seems to be though, if players are in a situation where they're wearing the pants they want, perhaps there could be an opportunity for us.
Well, this is something that I wanted to raise to you when I saw, obviously, when they dry the ball in the shirt and he lift up and you could see like Calvin
Yeah.
Klein. I just immediately thought, and I think you should have really, as head of advertising for this podcast, could we get back stronger or, that,
I think you
podcast?
get done for advertising.
Can
don't
you advertise pants?
Yeah, but they're advertising Calvins.
That's very true.
That's
Probably
what I mean.
shouldn't be doing that.
That's what I'm saying. As a podcast, we should be.
And they're just elderly men a lot of the time, aren't they? Your Calvin
Did some
Klein,
get done
your-
for Paddy Powell, was it? Or
Yeah,
was that-
maybe.
Yeah.
Well, but you're onto something here. And
Can we sponsor pants? And I don't necessarily think we should be going for, Man City or Manchester United. Can we get a Luton Town? Can we go and sponsor a Luton Town in the pant department?
We need a name for the pants, don't we? Shithousery?
Shithousery.
Sort of works.
or housery.
I'll wear 'em.
on the back. Love that. With Ben's in.
Ben's on board.
Ben's in board.
Your
But you're going to
management
have to top off every game on match of the day with the pants out the top. There we go. He's here first. The Premier League
Great.
player. He's in.
Great.
Get
Perfect.
made. Get
Ben
made.
Mee's got them on. I think we need a good name for the pants. Maybe we can link it with a charity or something as well. The main thing is we'd like to pass the pod. It's not advertising, it's just passing podcasts. Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah,
Perfect.
great.
Watch me get fined.
So Brentford, this is a club that I grew up in Ealing, right? And Brentford is a club that I've watched go from, they were not good. It was a difficult place to go. And I used to watch games there sometimes, and it was the old Division 2. It wasn't good football. When I watch Brentford now in the new stadium, and the players I see play and the way they play, it's like chalk and cheese. As a Brentford fan now, they must be just ecstatic with how it's going.
Yeah, they must be. I mean, some good young players, some quality, and the last couple of seasons have been fantastic for the club. The change in the whole club itself, the ambition of the club. Even last year, from when I arrived in the summer to the end of the season, the amount of change that had happened and the improvement and the amount of people coming into the club and wanting to get better and asking questions, how can we improve and what can we do here and there? And yeah, it's certainly a massive amount of ambition there. And on the pitch, the recruitment and the young players that they're bringing in, really exciting.
Yeah, it really is, isn't it? And it's a club. I mean, how much do you have to do with the owner? Obviously, that seems to have transformed everything, really. And obviously, the manager is seems top class.
Yeah, and when you were brought over, what was kind of said to you? What was it that sold it to you?
I think just speaking to the manager, his way of working. He's got a policy of no dickheads in the dressing room. It's
said
probably
that,
why
we
they're
had
around.
that,
We got a no dickhead policy on.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we have. We've got that here.
Just that kind of environment. Obviously, I was going to be one of the oldest player in the dressing room, but they wanted a bit of experience coming in. It's probably a very different signing for a Brentford to bring me there. But yeah, I'd enjoy, sort of, from my point of view, me thinking about it, I would enjoy going there and sort of helping out the young lads maybe and hopefully playing a lot of games. So that for me was it sort of suited me, I think, going there.
Well, you're doing more than that, just helping the young lads. Obviously,
Yeah,
that is a huge part of the of the defence. But like, I have to say, like, with the way you play, with the I don't think I've ever seen anyone with the amount of blocks that you seem to get in, and like. It doesn't seem to hurt you in any place it goes. Like, is that something like you can teach, or do you just have to be? I mean, did you have that as a kid? Like when I watch you throw yourself in front of the ball like a shot, there's no kind of thought of it's gonna hurt somewhere, or you just do it. Is that something you've been taught, or something?
No, it's something I've learned sort of playing a lot of games, watching a lot of football. I think a lot of defenders, where. And strikers, really, where are they looking to put the ball? How can I help my keeper the best, sort of thing? Trying to get in that sort of line of the ball. I played at Spurs at the end of last season, made a good few blocks then, just by sort of maybe not getting to the ball quickly, but just being in that sort of right position where I feel like the striker wants to put the ball. When you use the player to bend it round or through his legs or something like that. You're trying to put yourself in his shoes. Where does he want to go, sort of thing? So, yeah, my process is like, just trying to sort of not get out to the ball too quickly, but just trying to maybe move to the side or whatever and try and give the keeper a view, but also give myself the best chance.
Do you feel you don't get as much glory as you should for that? So when a striker scores a goal, everyone goes mad, everyone goes celebrates and that. for you, the blocks that you put in, it feels like it should be a bit more like American football, where everyone stops and just sort of bangs heads and spends a good minute.
Yeah, like you've just sacked the quarterback.
Yeah. Get the ball up and throw it down, you know, and give it some.
I think it's a moment that the team appreciates. Like, I think, you know, when I see my teammates making blocks like that, you know, I think, I'm having that all day long sort of thing. So I think your teammates appreciate it, and obviously the manager appreciates it and stuff.
But I think that's coming across now. Like when fans and people who watch football are more knowledgeable now. I think that kind of side of the game might have gone under the radar years ago. I think now it's more respected. When I hear
kids want to be defenders now.
Yeah, you hear the commentary and you hear the Ben Mee with another block.
Yeah.
Like, you know, it's an appreciated skill. And I think it's an underappreciated skill, maybe with regards to, like, obviously the way you're talking about it and explaining it now, like for a young defender, you know, it is an art, isn't it? The way you come out and block a ball.
You see a lot of defenders coming out and twisting the body, and you see the ball literally coming towards them, and they twist, and it sort of goes where they were, their body, and that stuff. So, you know, it's trying to stay and watch the ball stay big, and it will hit you and will hurt you, but that's your job.
But don't you have to change that to avoid handballs, for example? Is there a paranoia that's crept into the game because of cameras? And
Are you an arms behind back man now or not?
I'm becoming more of an arms behind back.
I think you have to be, right?
That is fucking bold, isn't it?
Yeah.
To face a ball and actually stand there, arms behind,
arms behind
and
back.
just accept
Or
it.
it's full frontal. I mean, and that's
full frontal.
We've discussed it on the pod before. Ben Mee goes full frontal.
He does.
I mean, I'm probably converting that way. The modern game.
It's so dangerous, isn't it, with the handballs?
Yeah. So as long as your arms aren't up in the air, I think you kind of get away with it a little bit if they're by your side. But
you've got the secret sauce as well, haven't you? You were one of the only clubs, if not the only club, where Haaland didn't score against you.
Yeah. Well, he didn't play the second game, so that was.
That's something.
It's a stat. It's a stat.
Yeah,
right?
it's a stat.
No,
We'll
but
take it.
you kept him quiet, right? And you did. And I watched the game. You played well against him.
Yeah, we did. We played well. We defended well against him. We had a plan, obviously, against him. So,
what was that?
What is the plan?
Just obviously not leave too much space in behind. Stop De Bruyne, because he's the one that's going to, feed him more often than not. Yeah, double up on him every now and again when you can in the box, and cover that back post where he likes to go. So
that's incredible. Much, so to deal with Haaland, you've actually got to neutralise De Bruyne.
I think so. Yeah, we spoke about
That's
it.
amazing.
For sure.
Yeah, 100%. I mean, it's the supply line, isn't it? So you're, like I say, you're in my kind of part of London, I think, and obviously being a lad from the north. How are you finding kind of living down there?
I really enjoy it. Yeah, we settled in well. Family settled in well. We don't have our network around other family and friends, but no, it's been really enjoyable. It went well on the pitch as well, which makes it even better. So, hopefully this year goes just as well, and we can enjoy it just as much. Really,
you got yourself a little garden, Ben.
A little garden. You can only get a little garden in London, can't you?
Have you? You into your barbecuing as well? I imagine you're a classy man.
Not particularly.
No,
not for me.
God, a man of pleasure.
One of them.
Man of class.
Not been sure about you this podcast, man. Now we know why.
That's all he does. He just tries to get people on his little barbecue thing.
I think it's a defender's sport, that as well.
What, barbecuing?
Yeah, it's just something that suits. Look at.
You think?
Yeah, I do.
I've seen Sergio Ramos. I actually saw his barbecue recently.
Mate, what a rig he's got.
Fucking. To be fair, some setup in it.
He has. He's got.
If you're across this Sergio Ramos's barbecue situation, it's incredible. Is that like porn to you?
Yeah. Like
seeing that barbecue, you just think,
oh yeah,
fucking hell.
Yeah.
Is that what you aspire to?
That's god tier barbecuing, isn't it?
Well, what's it? He looked like he had a little wheel and stuff.
He had everything.
Like, what is all that?
He had
like
everything.
A steam engine.
I think he spent, a good sort of $500,000 on that. I reckon.
Seriously?
It's a serious rig.
Fucking hell.
Yeah.
Probably gets more of the sun than us, doesn't he? So.
Yeah. But it looked like it was indoors or something, didn't it?
I was indoors.
Yeah, but it's all, I think it's all built outsid, Ben.
Yeah.
It's something to get into in retirement, I think, as
well.
Give it a look.
Probably don't.
Yeah.
Having said that, like obviously you are in the kind of West London area. I don't know if you're across the Samrat Indian restaurant. It's something that I just recommend to you if you're ever in town. It's in Ealing. Mr. Islam's a good friend of ours, so we can always get your table.
He won't give you a free pint. Bring the family.
But try it. I mean, obviously you're in that part of London, but we'd love you to bring the lads down. None of it will be free, but we I probably won't be able to get your table.
No. It's the mad thing. We've not actually been there for a while. We should go back and do the podcast from there again soon. But Ben, it's been so good having you on the podcast. Should we just finish? It'd be good to get you just to read one or two messages. I don't feel we got off to a good start with the original ones.
Apologise for that one. I'm just looking at it again.
Yeah. Well,
there's a couple of good ones we could say.
I felt it was covered.
Vavaje Okocha.
Yeah.
Yeah. Veve Okocha, is it? Or Vajj Okocha?
I quite like, though, taking it away from just it and a vagina 11 is different themes of 11, but with footballers' names.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? We could have a barbecue 11, for example, if we wanted to.
Yeah, we could do if we did want to.
But if you'd like us to explore various different 11s, then get in touch with a podcast.
All right, well, listen, we'll get into a couple of messages. Let's leave that one alone. There's a message here from Adam. He says, recently came back from a holiday with 4 mates of mine. Wanted to let you know the impact you had on 5 25-year-old immature lads without even knowing. Eggy Boff falls first one out the pool.
Do you know the game, Eggy Boff?
Yes.
Yeah, you've been across it, Eggy Boff. Been in the game long enough. We missed breakfast and lunch. We stayed at the pool for 6 hours before someone came.
Oh, it's harsh because you have to assume they might be half board as well. Yeah, so
missed out on
one
breakfast
key
and
meal.
Lunch. Fucking hell. Have you had any big Eggy Boffs?
Not that I can remember.
No.
You?
Yeah, I mean, I grew up on it, to be honest. It was something that we used to do a lot. Eggy Boff, first one to put their hands below their head, ended up with the lads fighting each other, one kicking each other in the cock, and he was sick because of the pain. And first to sing karaoke in a karaoke part is Eggy Boff. We had groups asking us to sing along, but we stayed committed and ended up getting a huge amount of stick. One of the lads even got swilled because of it.
Hold on, so I don't understand the last one. So
they're in a karaoke bar,
but none of them sing.
First one to sing, Eggy Boff, yeah. So no one sang.
So people were just giving them pelters for just looking miserable and not.
I assume so.
Wow. I would like to encourage Eggy Boff more.
Yeah.
It's kind of died down a little bit.
As a
good
bit,
to see it come back in anger and let us know your good Eggy Boff stories if you've been playing it. Ben, do you want to read one of these?
Kind of.
Do you want to do message from Sean? I've not read it.
After hearing Peter talk about football games, he would love to go to and tick off his bucket list. I would love to offer Peter, the notorious SID, and Chris the opportunity to attend an Old Firm derby and make arrangements for the hard-working staff behind the scenes as well, if required. I have a plan like no other, and even the opportunity to record a special podcast here in Glasgow. Interested?
Yeah, no, this sounds good.
With close business connections to Celtic, I can arrange for the boys to attend any Old Firm game, although due to a recent ticket fallout between Celtic and Rangers, the absolute best type of game to attend would be a cup, Scottish or League Cup final, semi-final or final at Hampden, where both fans are 50-50 split and host an atmosphere second to none.
Yeah, well, this does sound good so far.
So he's saying we can attend an Old Firm match?
Yeah.
It could be arranged for Peter to attend the game in any form he would like. Director's box, corporate hospitality, standard hospitality, with the Green Brigade, Celtic Ultras, or regular seating. With this, it would be great to extend the offer to the notorious SID and Chris. You're only going in the director's box, aren't you?
Well...
Tricky.
How do you feel?
Well, I think if we're offered prawn sandwiches, we'd love to accept that generous offer. We will be judged for it. Of course we will.
I mean, do we want to do we want to keep it real?
Well, of course we want to keep it real.
Bovril and, pie? Or is it prawn sandwiches and foie gras?
I don't know. I never get invited to these things, Peter, so you tell me.
Last bit. There is a great Brewdog pub in Glasgow city centre, and I have access to a private podcast studio that can be used for recording.
What a bizarre thing to have access to. Do you know what I mean?
Who is this guy?
Who are you, Sean?
This guy.
Or equipment can be set up in a pub if required. This could make a legendary Old Firm episode or that Glasgow episode.
I like this. I feel like we should take them up on this. Do you? What do you think, Ben? That's a great offer, isn't
It's
it?
a good excuse to go to an
and
Old
watch
Firm,
an Old Firm
of course.
match, right? Record a podcast in his studio and have a few beers in Glasgow.
Sounds nice. What's the one derby game that you would like to see?
I would like to go to the Old Firm. I've been meaning to get up. I had my good mate Scotty Arfield was at Rangers for a while, but I never got there to go and watch it.
What's the best game you've been involved in? Like, the most need or kind of best atmosphere you've been involved in?
The best atmosphere, probably Burnley Blackburn when we played them.
That's a big one, that, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big one.
How was that? I mean, what was the game, and did you win it?
We hadn't beat them for I think 35 years or something. And yeah, we beat them at Ewood, and it was kicked off. Yeah, it was good. It was a good atmosphere.
Great atmosphere. Yeah, it's brilliant.
We've got a message here from David. I just want to check it to check that this is a move that has actually happened. But Jason Cummings, aka the Cum Dog, has recently been transferred in a big money deal to, I'm going to pronounce this wrong, my apologies, but I'll give it a best shot, to Mohun Bagan in the Indian Super League. As a result, he's now been referred to as the Cum Dog Millionaire. Which I just think is an important bit of news to end on, you know? Sadly, my Wi-Fi isn't really working in here to check that.
The bells are.
I really hope it's true.
I hope that's true.
Ben,
That just come through.
It's just come through. Just come through. Ben, it's been so good having you on the pod, mate, and thanks.
No, thank you.
Ben,
Yeah, it's been
good
great.
luck for the season,
Sure.
mate. Yeah, it's
Thank you.
always good to obviously it was great having you on,
Nice
and I really enjoyed my time playing
Yeah.
with Ben. It was only brief, but good luck to you, mate,
Thanks,
because
mate.
I've watched you. We're at Brentford doing so well, and continue it this season. So good luck, man.
Cheers, mate. Thank you.
We look forward to getting you in the pants as well. So you know what we've got to do, just clean the ball. No one will know any different. It just looks...
I'm on
Do
it.
you know, I'll be honest with you, we're not going to give you any money, and you might get fined for it, and we're not going to pay that fine. But we hope you do it.
Much appreciated.
Send them over.